I've been a little bit sick and I feel a little bit too low for a hike, but I do need some form of a pick-me-up. So I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about the things that I used to want to be when I was younger. While I do my makeup in essentially the same way that I did it in middle school. I'm gonna put my hair up. So I don't have a major plan of things that I'm going to say. I have a few ideas, so forgive me if there's a lot of oohs and ums. Nothing's really like scripted out. I am going to start with some moisturizer, even though in middle school I did not use that, but I am the ripe age of 25. And my skin's in pretty dry. So before going to public school, I grew up homeschooled, which really meant that, along with my older brother, we were not actually taught formally. One of my siblings says the phrase of unschooling, and primarily we took care of ourselves and had absent parents. So I really couldn't read that well until I got to public school. And the public school I believe was due to a divorce my parents were going through. So with that said, I went to public school having no confidence at all. Like a lot of insecurities because I wasn't at the same rate or the same pace that my peers were beside me. And I mean that both academically, socially, cognitively. Like I was a 10-year-old hot mess. But I did take notice to everything. One of the things that I noticed is that there were already established friend groups. And I'd seen some of these people at like funerals or a church gathering and whatnot, but I didn't have any like established relationships with these people because I was homeschooled before this, and pretty much the only child I saw other than myself was my older brother, so he was pretty much my best friend. Then, because I'm in this new environment, I wanted so badly to be in a girl group. They had these silly bands, the kind where friendship bracelets meant something and you look forward to each other's birthday because that means slumber parties. Like I really wanted my Princess Diaries slumber party movie moment where they slip and slide down the stair ramp with a mattress. But I never really had that. I tried to fit in. I made a lot of poor choices as kids do with trying to fit in. I would make these claims that I had the same types of things at home that these girls I thought were really cool had. Try to keep up with their pace and be liked. It never really worked out because I think undoubtedly my lies were not very convincing. Thankfully, for a long time, I grew out of that phase of wanting to seem more than I am. I don't have a big girl group now, but I'm 25 and I do have 2 really good girlfriends that I treasure. And given the means, I'm totally convinced that they would love to have a sleepover. It's just that right after I connected with them, I moved 1,500 miles away. And now I'm starting to think that I should mail them friendship bracelets. Something else I wanted when I was younger, but I never spoke on realistically, is that I always wanted to be an artist. Everyone knew I liked drawing. For my age at the time, I was decent at drawing. I think that I stuck to it because not only did I enjoy it, and it was like something I could solve, figure out, understand, grow in, and give myself confidence that way, but I also liked it because it gave me an outlet to like talk to people my age. They thought it was cool that I could draw anything that they wanted. I'd be asked all the time to design the cover of their binders and whatnot. And I think in a sense it made me feel like I had friends, even though it was really just a quick little exchange when they wanted something, which I never minded. I liked it. I liked being in class and looking around and noticing all of my little doodles filling the binders, even though I wasn't really close friends with them. Yes, I wanted to be an artist at a very young age, and I just never thought that it was something I could do that would allow me to survive. I'd always wished I could be an artist. Like, I loved fashion, think Audrey Hepburn. I loved 1950s skirts. I loved the colors. By the time I was in middle school, I was really into 80s culture. At home, everything was really taboo, and I didn't feel like I could express these sorts of things without it being an annoyance or disturbance in my household. I never expressed my love for rock music. I remember one time I got in trouble with my stepmom because I was listening to something that was like screamo metal, and she walked in and threw a fit about it. So then I got things confiscated. They sat me down and like an interrogation and talked about my character and if I was like participating in underground sort of substances. So I kept all my interests after that pretty quiet and hush hush. But yes, I wanted to be an artist. And I didn't know at the time if that meant fashion, like designing things, or being an artist that gets to do whatever they want. Did not own brushes, and in fact, I was using the makeup that my older sister did not want, or that I conveniently took from her. Little sister things. And I would just use my finger and I would swipe brown towards the corner, and I would just bring it over. And I thought this was it. I thought this was instantly good stuff, hot stuff. Well, shoot. I thought that I owned some eyeliner. Well, the look is totally incomplete without it, but I'm not sure that I own eyeliner anymore. I don't know how old this is because I don't use a subscription anymore. I tried it out, wasn't for me, a little bit too thick, but I did recover some eyeliner, so let's try that out. And the key is that you do not make the wings match. They're totally uneven. Then I would pack on the mascara. Ooh, I forgot. I did do my eyebrows. Oh, I don't know if I finished. I don't think I finished my eyebrows. They're looking kind of weird. I wouldn't say that I was a teacher's pet. I wasn't, you know, trying to swoop in and make my teachers feel better in any way, but teachers did tend to like me, and at the time I thought it was just because I was a quiet, good student, quote unquote good student. But you know, in my adulthood I look back and I think about how I used to get pulled from lunch and they would ask me questions about like, what do you do when you get home? How do you spend your time? What hours are your parents there? Who helps you with your homework? Things like that. And I just thought they were trying to get to know me. I have a bachelor's degree now in education, and I was trained to notice signs in a child that may be enduring neglect. And I'm like, oh, that's what those lunchtime conversations were about. Okay, they're super uneven. Time to pack on the mascara. Something else that I wanted to be when I was younger is my older sister. I secretly thought that she was really cool. She seemed to have this really big friend group. She was really smart and hardworking. And I just thought she was one of the coolest things. I grew up wanting to be like her, so I would take from her a lot and try to apply it to my life. Something that was funny is that when I was homeschooled, she actually was in high school and she actually had to go to public school. And we didn't have parents that like tended to us or, you know, taught us routine or discipline or anything like that. There was some point when I was noticing how cool I thought my sister was and I wanted to be like her. So I made this plan that I was going to start getting up early at the hours that she goes to school, and I was gonna do like these workouts and practice dancing and whatnot and all that jazz. But I needed somebody to help me wake up. She had these hot pink shoes that she wore every day to school. They were Converse, and I think they had like rainbow cheetah print on the inside, and she would like stick the flaps out so the rainbow cheetah print was revealed. Anyway, she would wear them every day and we shared a room. So I would wait till she fell asleep, and then I would go grab her hot pink school shoes, and then I would go hide them in different places in the house. It lasted probably like a week, if I'm guessing. She caught on pretty soon because I was hiding them in places like under the bed at first, and then I hid them in the living room, then I hid them under a bunch of newspapers once, and then I hid them behind a huge stack of teddy bears that she had on the wall. I think that's when she started getting suspicious. And then the next day, I remember when she realized I was taking them from her, I had ran out of places to hide them that I thought were like out of sight, out of mind. So I had this plastic toy kitchen and I put them in the oven. And that is when she realized something was fishy. After that, I stopped because I was scared of her. Okay, and the best thing about my middle school makeup is that I never wore lipstick. I didn't like it. So I would just be like, bam, bright and bold on the eye, and then no lips. Something else that I wanted to be when I was younger was a graphic designer. I lived in a one red light town in South Mississippi. When I started talking about how I wanted to be a graphic designer, people told me that I would have to move far away and I wouldn't get a job and it's competitive and whatnot. You know, all the things that anything related to the arts people tell you, especially in small towns. But yeah, I wanted to be a graphic designer for a long time. Like, I was interested in doing the designs for food on coupons. Like, I wanted anything related to graphic design. I felt kind of entrapped and didn't pursue it. I went with something that was more practical, which is elementary education. And I did love it, but I ended up getting a endorsement in art education 2 years later after being in the workforce. I still found my way back to my older desires, or my younger desires. This is my middle school makeup. It's really not too much different than what I wear now. It's pretty much this, minus the eyeliner. I've not evolved that much. Well, thanks for watching and getting to know me a little bit.